Nothing really. Just no.
Reading.
Oh, well.
Welcome back, everyone. This will be my Morbius 2 teaser video. Apparently, it's Morbin time. I hope the internet is happy with what it's done, because look what Sony has produced. Jared Leto and Sony are just getting in on the fun. Apparently, you memed so hard the studio thought that everyone loved the movie and just put it back in theaters, too. So I'll explain what's going on and why Jared Leto released this Morbius 2 video, and what's really going on in Sony's Spider-Man spin-off movies, this big Sinister Six movie that they're making that they teased in the post-credit scene. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos, because there is a lot of Spider-Man coming.
I'm not sure how I got here. Has to do with Spider-Man, I think. I'm still figuring this place out, but I think a bunch of guys like us should team up.
So this past week, you probably saw Jared Leto posting this Morbius 2 video, getting out on the fun. First off, congratulations, internet. This is because of what you did. I hope you're happy with yourself.
I know that look. You're up to something. What is it?
It's Morbin time.
Sony, of course, saw all the Morbius memes, It's Morbin time, out in the wild, and thought that that meant that people loved it, completely missing the point of the memes. Apparently, as all the memes say, they truly do believe in the Morbius sweep. I believe the actual origin of the Morbin time meme was someone clowning on another person's Morbius, just random post, saying something about Morbius being in the final battle of Avengers Endgame, and doing something really ridiculous like snapping the Infinity Gauntlet instead of Iron Man, being ultra overpowered. Just some crazy what if meant to clown on the Morbius movie, and then after that it turned into a big pylon thing with the general internet just posting all their own memes. So if you've seen the Doctor Strange 2 Morbin time memes with Morbius versus Scarlet Witch, like no one can stop her except for Morbius, that's where the memes came from. Some of the jokes are pretty solid, I laughed pretty hard. But Sony legit put the movie back in theaters yesterday. It bombed again, predictably, because if you knew what was really going on, you knew it was going to happen. First off, like I said, people just did not dig the movie in general, and Sony mostly just took the wrong meaning from all the meme posting. And if you look at those original Morbius trailers from a couple years ago at this point, that's right, the movie was delayed multiple times. A couple years ago, it looked like they might have had, at one time, an interesting movie on their hands. They had all these Easter eggs for the different versions of Spider-Man, and as confusing as it was, it actually became a pretty interesting thing, like, oh, okay, this could have been really silly, but now I'm really interested to see the way they explain all these different Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Tom Holland Spider-Man Easter eggs, along with the Venom connections that all seemingly kind of contradict each other. They have the Tobey Maguire Daily Bugle logo with his font, they have Black Cat, they have Rhino, which are both Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man characters. They also have the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man suit, and the Tom Holland murder plot points from the Mysterio storyline. You also have the inclusion of the MCU version of the Vulture. He was always going to be in the movie in slightly different ways. Then you have all the Venom Easter eggs where, like in the movie, he literally says, I am Venom.
Who the hell are you, man?
I am Venom.
Originally, the movie was going to use the MCU Vulture in a completely different part of the movie in a completely different context. So it just seemed like they had a very different version of the movie at one time that could have been a little bit more interesting. What wound up happening is the movie was delayed multiple times, like all the big Marvel movies and all the big Spider-Man movies. And after one of the last round of delays, they moved Spider-Man No Way Home to the end of the year. It earned so much money, like crazy amount of money. Even without China, the movie earned almost $2 billion in the middle of the pandemic. So that was all going on while people were still really worried about the virus. They still went to theaters because that movie was so strong. So what had happened is that originally Sony had intended for Morbius to be this smaller movie, just like a standard character origin, kind of like the first Venom movie. It was always meant to take place on the same Earth as the Venom movie. But they had all these plans to connect it more fully with what was going on in Spider-Man No Way Home, and they were going to release it much closer to Spider-Man No Way Home. But then Sony decided that Spider-Man No Way Home was making so much money, like way more than they expected amidst the pandemic, so they just decided to let that ride and delayed Morbius again, and they got so worried about hurting Spider-Man No Way Home's box office juice that they just removed all the Spider-Man stuff from the Morbius movie, except for that post-credit scene, and turned it into a completely different type of movie. And waited a couple more months to release it after people had stopped buying tickets for Spider-Man No Way Home so much. So no big surprise, people just kind of lost interest in the movie about the character that isn't super popular like Venom and apparently wasn't going to be as connected to everything anymore with all the cuts that they made and just delayed so many times. So Sony really kind of clowned themselves on this. They really did this to themselves. Personally, I would have started Morbius off in a more shared universe type of situation like they did with Spider-Man in the Marvel MCU movies. But the whole thing with the Morbius 2 teaser video that Jared Leto released, that script for Morbius 2, is mostly meant to be a joke, like he's getting in on the meme. Sony wouldn't actually title the movie It's Morbin Time. And the person's name on the script, Bartholomew Cubbins, is actually a fictional Dr. Seuss character. Bartholomew Cubbins is a fictional page and a hero of 2 of Dr. Seuss's books. The first movie still hasn't earned its full box office back yet. It hasn't earned its marketing budget, so they're still considering it a loss. But Jared Leto, pretty decent actor if you give him the right material, and he did sign a multiple picture contract for the shared Spider-Man movies before he did the Morbius film. So you don't need to worry about Morbius 2 so much. What they'll probably do is just have Jared Leto's Morbius show up as a major character in the Sinister Six movie that they're working on right now with Michael Keaton's Vulture character, Venom, any of the other characters that they introduced, like the Kraven character, anyone new from that Madam Web movie that they're working on. They've been making all kinds of announcements about that, in any other Spider-Man spin-off character that they do, or any other new version of Spider-Man they introduce. Because the whole pitch of that Morbius post-credit scene is that they're going after Spider-Man, or a version of Spider-Man. So at some point here, they actually do have to have someone in a Spider-Man suit that they all fight.
Has to do with Spider-Man, I think.
Now you're asking, which version of Spider-Man are they going to fight in that movie? Tom Holland's Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire's, or live-action Miles Morales Spider-Man, or even one of the versions of Spider-Woman that it sounds like they're also working on separately. I did a couple Easter egg videos for this when they still had the Spider-Man scenes in the Morbius movie and in all the trailers. Like I said, Morbius is meant to be on a shared Earth with Venom, same universe, and based on those Easter eggs and all the trailers, they share more in common with Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man, because there were a lot of references to that during Spider-Man No Way Home, and it sounds like here during the Morbius trailer. If it's been a while since you've seen Amazing Spider-Man 2, during that movie, you might remember they reference Morbius and Venom specifically, along with a bunch of other teasers for other characters and things buried in Harry Osborn's Oscorp files. Like Zoom and Enhance here, they have a Morbius project that they were working on, they had a Venom project, so had they made Amazing Spider-Man 3 with Andrew Garfield, they would have given him the Venom symbiote during that movie, and he would have faced a version of the Sinister Six, as they teased in the post-credit scene. But we also would have seen a version of Black Cat show up, and then obviously they were trying to set up a whole bunch of other spin-off movies too. Now that Andrew Garfield has come back in a big way during Spider-Man No Way Home as a multiverse Spider-Man, Spider-Verse Spider-Man, however you want to think about him, along with Tobey Maguire. But during the movie, Andrew Garfield referenced what sounded like a teaser for the Venom symbiote saga in his own universe, like he talked about being bitter and angry after Gwen Stacy died, becoming rageful, not pulling his punches anymore.
I fought an alien made out of black goo once.
Oh, no way. I fought an alien too.
I want to fight an alien.
That, to me, sounds like the setup for an Andrew Garfield symbiote saga, as if he was explaining the plot of Amazing Spider-Man 3. And that's also kind of why they called him Peter 3. Like Tom Holland was Peter 1, Tobey Maguire was Peter 2, Andrew Garfield called himself Peter 3 as a sort of wink at Amazing Spider-Man 3. So because there's all these Easter eggs and references mostly tying Morbius to Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, and it sounds like they had that plan a long time ago to introduce a version of Morbius in the Amazing Spider-Man universe, it's always possible that Sony brings Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man back for more cameos as part of the continuing sort of Morbius-Venom universe that they're building over on their side of things. So if it's meant to be any kind of Spider-Man universe, it would be Amazing Spider-Man's universe. If he doesn't want to do that Sinister Six movie, they might swerve on his version, and if they don't say that it's a version of Peter Parker like Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, don't do it. Early theory is that they would probably just go with a live-action version of Miles Morales, because it sounds like they're working up to doing that after the animated Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse movies. They even had an Easter egg for live-action Miles Morales in Spider-Man Homecoming. We just haven't actually seen him on screen in live-action wearing that Spider-Man suit yet. They are working on a Spider-Woman movie right now, but you remember, in that Morbius post-credit scene, Vulture literally said Spider-Man, not Spider-Woman, so they really want you to think it's going to be a version of Peter Parker or potentially Miles Morales. The next actual big Spider-Man movie is going to be Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and Tom Holland is supposed to be coming back for Spider-Man 4. Like Sony has already said that they're making it, they're just trying to get everybody to sign their deals so that they can announce it. And they also just confirmed that they're in the middle of making Venom 3. So Morbius also might wind up cameoing in Venom 3. But let me know in the comments, if they do not do Morbius 2, which it sounds like they won't, where do you want to see that character show up next? Remember, there's like 1 billion Spider-Man spin-off movies that Sony is working on right now, so there's going to be a lot of other brand new characters in the next couple years. There'll be a bunch more Marvel trailers next week and another brand new Marvel series that's starting. I'll do separate videos for that, just like I would for any other big Disney Plus Marvel series. Be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss that. Everyone click here for my brand new Thor Love and Thunder trailer video, and click here for my Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 4 trailer video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.